We are getting a bit of an early start this morning. You can't tell because it's so bright, but it's actually about 7:30, which is pretty early for us. We have been waiting for some southerly winds to try to sail up the coast, which we've had for the last few days, but they've been accompanied by like 4 to 5 meter swells out in the ocean, and that doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun, plus having to cross the bars, so we decided to pass. What's happened today is there's no wind. We've got like 2 to 3 knots of true wind speed right now. So we're going to turn Starry Horizons into a bit of a powerboat and just motor up the coast, because we've got work scheduled in the Gold Coast, and checking the long-term forecast, I'm not seeing anything that looks promising between now and about 5 days before the work schedule to start. So it's always, I don't really like having to go to a schedule, but in this case, no wind is probably better than trying to bash into a ton of wind. So we'll see how this goes.
To be a motorboat, you need fuel. So our first stop was at a marina to top off the tanks. From there, we made our way back out the channel to the Swansea Bridge, where we grabbed a courtesy mooring and waited for the bridge to open.
How are we doing this morning, Admiral?
Doing good.
Got our diesel, got through the bridge, headed towards the bar. Got our life jackets on because that's the law. And this is probably the first time I'm hoping for not a lot of wind.
Yeah, hopefully it's not going to be too bad out here. We're just going to motor as far as we can. Hopefully all the way up to Gold Coast in 2.5 days, so.
Yeah, poor Starry Horizons is going to have to be a motorboat for a while.
Yep.
I'm looking straight out past the bar right now. It looks very calm, which is nice. Wind is still pretty calm, which is good. My concern is that as the wind picks up a little bit, it shouldn't be a whole lot today, but it'll have a little bit of an east, slight northeast bent to it, which as it kind of curves along the coast might increase right at us, but we'll see how it goes. This is gonna be the best we're gonna get, so just kind of have to make the most of it. We are coming up the coast just past Newcastle right now, and there are a lot of big ships anchored out here. My understanding is that Newcastle is still a pretty big port for coal, and they don't have quite enough room for all the ships that want to come in, so quite a few of them have to just anchor out, and then when there's enough space they call them in. But, you know, kind of weird just seeing ships anchored out in the middle of what is essentially the Pacific Ocean. Still making our way up the coast right now. Haven't quite even got to the entrance to Port Stephens, and unfortunately, as I was expecting, the wind is definitely starting to pick up. We are seeing now kind of 15, 16 knots of true wind, which is putting our apparent wind just about 19, 20, and our apparent wind angle is about 10 or 11 degrees to starboard right now. So it is not a little earlier than I was hoping, not ideal. This is part of the reason we bought the big 55 horsepower engines for the boat, so that we can bash our way into this if we need to. The hope is that, according to the weather forecast, the wind is going to die down a little bit later this afternoon and in the evening, so that once we kind of round some of the points and get a turn a little bit more north, that maybe we won't be bashing quite as much. We'll see.
The northerly winds and building waves were a bit of an ill omen as we ran into a few other issues throughout the day.
What we got going on here?
Well, I looked back off the back of the boat. We were trailing this. There are a bunch of bloody fishing traps out here. So I think we managed to hook one. It's like it got chopped off with the rope cutter, so the rope cutter is doing exactly what it's supposed to. I'm gonna try to get our GoPro and stick it down in just to make sure there's nothing wrapped around the prop or the sail drive or anything like that before we get back underway. So
That sucks.
yeah, it's kind of annoying, but
Woke me up from my nap.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the GoPro revealed that other than our dirty hull, everything was fine. We got back underway quickly, only to discover another problem and make a detour.
You're all suited up.
Yes.
What's going on?
So we had to do a quick deviation to Broughton Island, I think it's called. Yeah. So we were swapping over to use our starboard engine and noticed that even though we were running at the same RPMs, we lost like a knot of speed. So after we hooked that stupid line earlier, I was concerned maybe we'd hook something else. Couldn't see anything around the boat. I put the GoPro down to see if the prop was like, you know, fully open and whatever, and it was. My only guess is then that this starboard prop may have a bunch of growth on it or something like that. I mean, this Australia, there's a lot of growth that seems to happen here. So I'm kitted up. I'm going to jump in real quick, do some cleaning, keep our fingers crossed that works, and then we can jet back out and keep going tonight.
Alrighty.
Yeah, all kinds of fun.
Cleaning it fixed up the issue, and once again, we were back underway.
We are having a very calm day out here. It is very light wind, true wind speeds of about 7 or 8 knots, apparent wind angle about 90 degrees, so we do have the Genoa out, but it's not really helping a whole lot, I don't think. But yeah, last night was pretty chill. Today, pretty chill. We've been keeping a very close eye out for more fishing traps. Fortunately, I haven't run into any of those, so that's good news. The biggest piece of, I guess, news on this trip is we have decided to swap up the schedule just a little bit. We were hoping to make a full run all the way up to Southport, but as I was running the numbers, to do that would have required us to average 6.5 knots to get all the way up there by sunset on Sunday, tomorrow, which we weren't doing even if we were motoring pretty hard out. To go slow enough to arrive on Monday morning after sunrise would have been doing like 5 knots, which would have required really low RPMs, and I didn't really want to do that either. So we're going to go back to a place where we have a little familiarity. We're going to head to Coffs Harbour and maybe just do a very brief overnight there. Pull in probably about 8, 9 o'clock tonight, I think, and then we'll just leave probably first light tomorrow morning, and that should be enough to get us into Southport after sunrise on Monday. Get a nice little night rest and then keep going. Sounds like an okay deal to me. You look like you're all busy trying to find us a place to stay.
I'm very productive. Apparently we have a ton of people who follow our blog or videos or Facebook in the Southport area, so I'm getting tons of advice.
You guys are freaking awesome.
You guys are awesome.
Whoa. Sweet, so I guess we don't have to worry about where we're gonna be for a while.
No, I mean we've got like 2 weeks for, well, 2 weeks between when we arrive in the entrance to the Southport area and when we need to be at the boatworks. So yeah, we've got 2 weeks to just chill around Broadwater, and that includes Australia Day.
Which we hear is kind of crazy.
Yeah, so we'll see what that's like.
The winds have increased just enough that we were able to roll the Screecher out. We're still having to motor sail. True wind speed's only like 9, 10, 11 knots, but it always feels good when the bigger sails come out. We're less than 20 miles from Coffs Harbour. Looks like we'll probably come in after dark, but we've been there before. It's really wide open entrance, so plus it seems to be our tradition arriving at Coffs Harbour after dark, so don't want to break that.
One benefit of a calm air passage and resulting calm seas is that Amy doesn't feel quite as seasick when we start out. That meant she was up for making a delicious dinner.
What are you making for us tonight, babe?
We are having rice noodles and carrots and these hopefully really good sausages that we found in Rathmines. The Rathmines Butchery makes their own sausage mixes. And last time we had Thai green curry chicken sausages, and this time it is, I think, maple bacon and beef or something. There may have been cheese thrown in it. I don't know. Sounds really good.
Okay, that sounds pretty damn good, that's all I'm saying.
Yes.
The sausages were, in fact, pretty damn good. After dinner, Coffs Harbour appeared on the horizon, and we kept our traditions intact by arriving just after sunset. Having been there before, we tried anchoring just inside the breakwater to hide from the worst of the swell, and after a few hours of sleep, we were off again.
We are back underway after our overnight stop in Coffs Harbour. It was, nice little spot. Wasn't too rolly, which Coffs Harbour can be. But Amy helped me get the anchor up and then has gone promptly back to bed. So, all by myself this morning. And got a little bit of southerly wind, but apparent wind speed is about 4 or 5 knots at the moment. So, just gonna have to keep motoring, I guess.
I thought another day of motoring was going to be a bit boring, but Australia had other plans in mind for us.
I may have spoke a bit too soon about no excitement. We've got some dolphins showing up. That was a short little visit, but you know, dolphins just have this innate sense to show up whenever you need a little bit of a mid-passage pickup. How's it going there, Admiral?
Good.
Reporting on duty for the evening.
On duty. 7 o'clock. My turn.
How's it looking for the night?
It's fine. We got a bit more clouds than we've had the past few nights, and the wind has actually picked up, so we'll still motor sailing, but we can screech around. And we're kind of doing well. We're doing like 7 knots.
It's good. We may even have to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, 8 knots.
Whoa!
Whoa, nutty.
Take it easy there, Star Horizons.
Yeah. So, we're zooming along. Ooh, dolphins! Yeah, we're gonna be in Southport tomorrow morning.
Sweet. Where are those dolphins that coming at us?
I don't know. I just saw like the water break. Oh, there they are. Yep. Coming right at us. Yay! It's been a while since we've had dolphins.
Well, for you, I saw them earlier this afternoon.
Yeah. Okay. It's been a while for me. Look. Oh, there he is. Right under us.
Oh, he's looking at us. That is a big boy too. Oh wow, yeah. Must have been fighting with some sharks. Oh, one's got belly up. I swear he's like cleaning the bottom of the boat for us.
You have an itch? What's going on over there? You guys are playful.
They are very playful.
Oh! Woo! I got the second one. All right, as we were saying before we were rudely interrupted by those dolphins. Ready for the night?
Yeah, we're ready for the night. Ready to fly along. We're doing 6.5 knots now. So the wind died a little bit while we were dolphin watching.
Yeah.
Can't win everything. I'll take dolphins any day over burning some extra diesel.
I suppose it's tradition by now to do a last sunrise out at sea clip. We've had an interesting night. We got stuck in a bit of the Eastern Australian current, which slowed us down a whole lot. Luckily the wind stayed up a little bit higher than I was anticipating, so we were able to keep the Screecher out for a while, which helped keep the speed up, but going a little bit slower than I'd hoped, and we've been dodging fishing boats all night. It's always kind of fun trying to guess which way they're going. None of them are on AIS, or at least none of them are transmitting, so that part always gets a little fun, but almost there. About 19-ish miles to go, I think.
The last thing we had to do was navigate the Southport Bar. Before we'd even left France to begin our voyage, I saw a clip of the entrance that had stuck with me all the way here.
The crew of a $500,000 catamaran sailing up the coast from Tasmania has taken on the raging Southport Seaway. The skipper had been warned that 5-metre waves were pounding the bar crossing, but tried his luck anyway.
But sensing a gap in the sets, he went for it.
Oh my God! Oh Jesus! Oh Jesus!
It's just gone, what, 9 o'clock in the morning, and I've had a beer, and I never do that. I needed it this morning, though.
Our bar crossing good luck held out for us, and rather than 5-meter swell, the worst thing we faced going through the Seaway was an outbound current. Before we knew it, we were inside safe and sound. No beers needed.
Hey y'all, as you can see behind me, that's land, so I'm very happy to report that since our last video when we were on passage, we have now made it to Indonesia, safe and sound, now without a few twists and turns along the way, so I'm going to link down below to the blog post where we talk about the passage, so you can get a little preview for the video that will be coming. But for now, we're safe and sound, and I am happy to also report that since this video on the way up to the Gold Coast, Starry Horizons has been much more of a sailboat, so she's a lot happier. Make sure you guys stick around, check out the next few videos from Australia, and we'll be seeing y'all next time. Thanks for watching.